I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of May 24th, 2017. We are coming to you recorded at Alter Ego Comics in Lima, Ohio, talking about the books that we love the most this week. Hopefully you will pick them up as well and support comics that are awesome. My pick this week is The Normals, #1 by Adam Glass and Dennis Calero, published by Aftershock Comics. Man, Aftershock is putting out some really good stuff. I think Aftershock is giving Image a run for their money as far as independent creators telling some great stories across all kinds of genres. If you're on our private Facebook group, Comics Are Awesome, and we will include a link in the show notes to that if you'd like to hang out there and conversate with us. We talked about this several weeks ago. It was actually a while ago. We got an advance look at it and both really enjoyed it. Several of you added it to your pull list after that, but now it's here and I think everybody should pick it up. So who is this for? This is for fans of maybe Total Recall, maybe Twilight Zone, definitely. This is focusing on a family, middle-aged family, husband, wife, 2 kids, and all of a sudden their world is turned upside down with questions that they don't have answers to. And I assume the journey will be discovering the answers to those questions, and they may not like the answers that they get. It's just really good storytelling, and I think I was able to relate to it because my kids are kind of the same age as the kids that are in here. I think Adam Glass does a great job of writing the narrator, who's the father/husband in the story. It's just really good. Calero's artwork is nice, really fits the story, and I can't wait to see what happens next. It's so good.
Awesome. My pick of the week this week is Destroyer, or possibly Victor LaValle's Destroyer. Valet? Written by
Victor LaValle.
Victor LaValle. Created by Victor LaValle. Written by Victor LaValle. Illustrated by Dietrich Smith. This is sort of we'll say it's a continuation of the Frankenstein mythos, but it's not really. It's sort of a bigger picture social ideas book. The pull quote on the cover is, Victor LaValle tells stories that need to be told. And that quote is from Joe Hill, writer of Lock and Key and son of Stephen King. I love that no matter how famous he is, that's still going to be a bigger lead.
Say it, but I think the average person on the street may not realize that. They may be Joe Hill fans and not realize who he is.
It's possible.
People that read Lock and Key may not even know him.
Yeah, but Lock and Key sold like a bajillion copies, but that's like a fraction of what any given King, just statistically.
Yeah.
Anyway. But no, this is sort of re-looking at both the text of Frankenstein and the metatextual real-world stuff that was going on and went into the creation of Frankenstein. So there's actually kind of some interesting stuff in... Is it the intro or the outro? Must be the outro.
Must be the outro, yeah.
Where
outro, is that a word?
It is now. It's where Victor LaValle's talking about the circumstances that went in when Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein, which is a fairly famous story. Basically, it was this ghost story contest with some friends and her husband. And it sort of re-examines that within the context of modern horror and some of the horrific things that are happening today. For example, cops shooting people who are browner than they are. And that's a big element in the story. But you get the classic Frankenstein monster returning, and there is someone in a scientific capacity trying to bring someone back to life, but it's in a very grounded, human manner. Really emotional, really, really good. I like the way that they don't... There's a tendency with Frankenstein to humanize the monster, because he's sort of the protagonist. You kind of feel bad for him. I mean, that's in the original text and in the movies. And they don't go that here, because the story's not really about the monster. The monster's an element in the story, but it's about the people. It's about the scientists and her family and what's happened to them. And just really good, moving, well-written stuff from Boom Comics.
Awesome. Next up for me this week, The Totally Awesome Hulk, the book that's written
not just a little bit
for
awesome.
us. It's totally awesome Hulk. So, I don't follow this series normally. I read the first couple issues. I'm just not a huge fan. I like Amadeus Cho as a human assisting Bruce Banner or as part of a team. You know, I like him on the Champions. But my Hulk is Bruce Banner, and we're going to see that hopefully come back somewhere in the near future from Marvel. But I picked this up because this is a tie-in to what's been going on over in Weapon X, with Sabretooth, Old Man Logan, Lady Deathstrike, and Warpath and Domino being kind of hunted down by these Terminator-esque
robot-y things
that are working for the new and improved Weapon X program. So this is a prelude to a storyline called Weapons of Mutant Destruction, and those folks that are pulling the strings behind the new Weapon X program decide to go after the totally awesome Hulk to get his DNA into the mix of what they already have and create the ultimate mutant killing machine. And that's really all you need to know. So if you've been reading Weapon X, you want to check this out. This could be hard to find, I think, because the
Totally Awesome sells a fraction of what...
It sells significantly less than most books on this thing.
Yeah, and I don't think that calling it a prelude is going to help it either, because I haven't read the beginning of the series, but I haven't read the beginning of the actual crossover, but this is a crossover. People from both books are in there, the plot.
This is not a prelude.
This is the stuff.
Go from issue, what was it, 3 or 4 of Weapon X, whatever the most recent issue is, you go to this. This is the next point to go. So I don't even think we ordered correctly on this. In fact, I know we didn't. So we will try and get some more if you're local, but if you've been reading Weapon X, you absolutely want to pick this up. It's a really good story, throwing the kind of the unknown factor into this team of mutants is really cool. If you think about it too much, it doesn't. To me, they're going after a bunch of mutants and they're killing mutants. Are they strictly going after the Hulk because they want his strength and his invulnerability and all that other stuff? Because he's not a mutant, why?
Well, they're having trouble killing Wolverine, and that's historically been a Hulk-type job.
Yes, so again, if you think about it too much, you're like, but it's a action-packed, fun story with a group of people that normally don't work together. So I really liked it. I'm looking forward to the crossover, and you should absolutely check it out.
Also in X-Town, we get X-Men Blue #4, written by Cullen Bunn with art by Julian Lopez. And I really like the way Bunn is distinguishing the X-Men personalities. The way Beast has kind of changed from classic Beast as he's in the new timeline. He's getting involved in magic and stuff. Some of his jocularity is a little different, but you still get some classic throwbacks. And we see in here they're interacting with someone with 3 claws. I'm trying to figure out on what page they tell you who it actually is, because I don't want to spoil it. But yes, there's a Wolverine in here. A Wolverine. It's a Wolverine.
If you've read the previous issue, you kind of know who it, because...
Did they tease it in the previous issue? Yeah. I don't remember that.
I think so.
Oh, okay. So it's the son of Wolverine from the Ultimates, and I don't know how he's in our timeline, because the Ultimate Universe is gone. But obviously, some of the X-Men have met him previously when there was the multi-universe crossover with Spider-Man, the Miles Morales stuff, when our X-Men, or the X-Men Blue from the time past, future, bullcrap, went to the Ultimate Universe.
Here's the chart. You go here,
right?
And then...
but it's just interesting to see a different version. I mean, now we've got a young Wolverine with a group of young X-Men, and kind of reimagining the archetypes is fun.
Well, and I think he shows up the same way that several of the other Ultimate characters are starting to pop up within the Marvel Universe. There's a new Ultimate Thor. Ultimate Thor's hammer is here.
Right.
There are elements of that universe that, after Secret Wars, where everything kind of collapsed into one world, I think that's how it happened.
Okay.
You going with the next one?
No, I can.
Yeah. Staying in the world of X-Men.
Jean Grey, #2, from Dennis Hopeless and Victor Ibanez. Basically, Jean Grey, at the end of the last issue, she was confronted by the Phoenix, giant galactic force of destruction and rebirth. And so none of her really smart friends believe her that there's a problem. So she goes to find people who might, and she gathers together everyone she can find that has borne the Phoenix, has been a host in the past. So you got Colossus and Magic from IVX. You've got Rachel Gray from her own timeline, and maybe in our timeline too. And you've got Hope Summers and Quentin Quire. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, this reminded me of like the getting the team together part of the action movie. I know that this isn't really like going to be a team, but her going around meeting the different people and collecting them, the different personalities interacting was really fun for me. Plus, we haven't seen Hope in a while.
A long time.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time we saw her. So it's cool to see all these characters together. And I enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying the X-Men relaunch.
Next up for me is Batman the Shadow #2 by Scott Snyder, Steve Orlando, and Riley Rossmo. This book is incredible. Every Batman fan needs to be reading this book. This was almost my pick of the week. It just so good. The writing is top notch. Rossmo's artwork is excellent. Fits the story very well. You don't have to know jack about the Shadow to really enjoy this series. So it's a 6-issue miniseries. Pick it up if you can find it. Pick up issue #1. Get issue #2. This is an excellent story. Excellent Batman story with the Shadow thrown in there. And if it makes you, it makes me want to read more Shadow, and it takes a lot for that to happen. I think so.
Alec Baldwin couldn't do it. I mean,
yeah, and things are gonna get crazy with the next issue. So get on board now. Batman Shadow, good stuff.
Next up for me, Secret Warriors #2, written by Willow Rosenberg. No, probably some other Rosenberg. Matthew Rosenberg. H-Bomb, Sugar Ray, Pammy Jam. Art by Javier Garron. And this continues the story of a group of Inhumans banding together to fight back against Hydra Steve's taking over of the world. I like the way Rosenberg's structuring the story. We get a lot of jumping around chronologically. Which is not necessarily confusing, although there are a few times I had to go back and check the last caption to find out how it was all lining up. But it works really well for keeping the story moving and keeping the flow works very well. I have to make this hand gesture when there's flow, like water. So the slower paced moments are balanced out by flashbacks that are faster paced or vice versa. So it allows you to get all of the information you need, but also have great moments. I love this iteration of Karnak, where he's just kind of like the weird sidekick character that nobody understands. And I'm pretty sure the art inspiration for him at this point is Colin Farrell's Bullseye from the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. And just a lot of fun, much better than I expected it to be, based on the fact that it was a new title launching as part of a big crossover. That's usually not where you put the strongest books, but I'm really liking it.
Oh, let's see. In our Valiant special minute here today, X-0 Manowar 3 is out this week. This is the final book in the first chapter of the relaunch of X-0 Manowar. And many of you have told us that you're enjoying it, and we're seeing lots of people buying it here in the shop. So this is, as I said, the third part. Next issue is designed to be another jumping on point. We kind of move forward with the story of Eric and how he is gaining stature within the army that he's serving in. This is just such an awesome book. It's just, the artwork's beautiful, the story is excellent. You sympathize with the main character and several of the other characters, and it's just nonstop action. If you picked up X-0 Manowar for the first time with this series, you should check out Rapture #1, which is also out this week from Valiant. Stars several other Valiant characters, most prominently Ninjak and Shadow Man. Also written by Matt Kint, who is writing X-0 Manowar. And this is kind of the dark sorcery side of the Valiant universe. You don't really have to know a whole lot going into it. In fact, I think the timing is really great for people that just jumped into Valiant with X-0 Manowar to pick up this issue and check out this series and learn some more about some of the other characters that are in there. I really enjoy it. The artwork's top notch, and just another Valiant book. You know, they deserve your support. They really do. They're putting out some amazing comics, and they're a nice alternative to some of the other stuff that's out there.
Next up for me, infamous Ironman #8, written by Brian Bendis with art by Alex Maleev. If you have been missing the Fantastic Four in the Marvel Universe, this book is as close to that as you're going to get. I'm pretty sure there's as much time with Ben and Reed and
Sue? Johnny?
No, Ben and Reed and Doom, Victor, as there is with any of the main characters of the book. And it all fits perfectly together, and it's very interesting. It's incredibly well written by Bendis. But yeah, Fantastic Four, if that's what you want, this is where it's at.
All right, and in our trade paperback graphic novel collected edition spotlight this week, Unworthy Thor is available for you to check out. This collects the 5-issue miniseries that is all kinds of awesome. So you can read this without having read any of the other Jason Aaron Thor stuff, but it fits in very well by design with his stuff from the very beginning. Great
Did
stuff.
you read Jean?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
There's actually a panel when she's putting the team together where they're all just like little snippets of people how she goes to recruit them. And Rachel's one of them. Rachel's fighting the Minotaur guy from Mighty Thor. And then the caption explains what it is and says, "Go read Mighty Thor."
You should.
And you should.
Totally.
Next up, we've got from Image, Moonshine. This is 1-6, written by Brian Azzarello. He of the 100 Bullets, right?
And Wonder Woman.
And that awesome Joker story.
Yeah.
And Luther, all kinds of amazing, gritty comics. And this is a story of Prohibition-era gangsters trying to get a new source for the shine, and they go into the South where there is werewolves. And that's how that goes. Damn near perfect, according to Nerdist on the cover. I agree.
Violent Love, another series from Image that we've talked about in the past. Written by Frank Barbiere, artwork by Victor Santos. This is really good, kind of a revenge story. Again, gritty, Bonnie and Clyde-esque, but great storytelling, great artwork.
I maintain it's more like the Badlands than Bonnie and Clyde.
We can do that. We can also quote Nerdist again by saying, "Great pacing, stunning visuals, and awesome characters. Violent Love is brilliant stuff." And it is. And it is $9.99,
so
as is Moonshine. So the first 2 volumes of great series that...
The first volume of 2 great series.
That's what I meant to say. Absolutely. So speaking of trade paperbacks and graphic novels, I can finally announce that you can now order our in-stock inventory online at alteregocomics.biz, and we'll include a link in the show notes. So you can shop our entire graphic novel inventory online, and we would absolutely appreciate your support with that. Many of you over the years who've watched these videos have wanted to support us, but you live outside of the area, and so this is a great way to show your love to Alter Ego Comics. We would absolutely appreciate it, as I said. Sadly, we cannot do international shipping at this time, but that could happen somewhere down the road. So right now, it's only U.S. addresses that we're able to ship to, but check it out, alteregocomics.biz. If you have any feedback, constructive criticism, comments, send them my way. It's mark@alteregocomics.com, Mark with a C. And I'd be, grateful to get the feedback, because we want to make this easy for you to shop with us, even if you're not in the local area. Something?
No.
I think
I make faces even when I'm not thinking.
I think he was going to throw up. As usual, if you like this week's episode, we appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up and share it with anybody that you think would appreciate hearing about comics that are awesome. Join our private Facebook group where we have discussions and people make recommendations. It's just a really positive group of comic book fans. I think you'll like it if you're not there already. Thanks for watching. We got to go open the shop. Have a great week.